Um, I'll think of something later now because I don't want to. I'll think of a good name for sure, though. All right. We're on the No Name podcast at the moment because right now, Jack of All Trades is a podcast at the moment. But I'm with right now Zach Adams, the one and only photographer here at RAT with me. Both photography majors, but visual media, right?
Yeah, I'm undecided.
Undecided?
Okay, but likely visual media.
Yeah, it's always good. Same major as well then. The reason why I wanted to interview you specifically is because you've started a YouTube channel recently.
Right.
And to me, that's obviously been really interesting because, I mean, other things, it's like I don't find what you talk about and what you do is obviously not similar, but it's interesting to me at least because you're someone I know.
Right.
And watching someone that I know is way more interesting than watching it on like Natural Geographic or something that's like typical, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, just someone you don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know, you seem like you've really kind of started off pretty well for yourself right now because it's gotten over 500 views at this point.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's
not
something bad for like the first try.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's still something.
Yeah.
And I basically want to know is what made you want to start that for yourself?
Well, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for like a couple years now. Basically, I guess the deciding factor was the same reason I never started it like sooner is the same reason I started it when I did. Basically, it was I hate saying this, but it was more of a gear restriction and somewhat of and I guess more so just a skill restriction because making, like videos that are up to the standards that I like to shoot at is hard. I didn't want to put out something that I didn't think looked good, and it took me a while to get there. I shot a lot of other videos for other people and for myself just to practice before doing that. And even that video that I posted isn't perfect, videography-wise, because the nature of how that video goes, for anyone who is listening that hasn't seen my video, it's basically an off-roading video. Me and my dad like to do a lot of off-roading together. And it was just me and him, each in our own car, so I didn't have another cameraman. So I had to record everything while I was driving, which is not easy. So a lot of it was GoPro footage. And GoPros, they're okay, but they're not. I'm still listening,
don't worry.
You're good. GoPros, they're okay, but they're not like super good for video, obviously. So it's not perfect, but it's something, and I'm satisfied with how it looks. But
that's good.
Up until this point, I feel like I just haven't been able to put out something that I wanted to show everybody.
Yeah. And
the other thing was just like up until like last summer, so maybe about 6 months ago now, I didn't really have a camera that could shoot good video. Now I do.
4K now, right?
Yeah, 4K now, and then just better 1080 full frame 1080 now, which is different. And now I do have a lens that can do video much better.
What kind of lens?
It's a Nikon Z series is the important part, but it's a 35mm f1.8. But the Z series is nice because it's got a silent focusing motor. So when you autofocus in video, it's smooth and accurate, but it doesn't make any noise because the problem I have with a lot of my other lenses...
What would you see that in, just to kind of explain?
Well, any clip you're using the audio from, basically you'd hear just an incessant clicking noise from a normal lens. And there's actually clips in my YouTube video that, because I shot that before I got that lens, there's clips in that video where you can hear this repeated clicking. It just sounds like... I don't know what it sounds like. It sounds like a lens clicking. Yeah. And because, the microphone's right above the lens from the autofocus. So there's none of that in the new lens. So that's nice to have as well. And then I picked up a few other things recently, like a gimbal and a drone, just to add that, third dimension of footage. But anyway, back to why I started it now.
Yeah.
I guess that is its own reason, just kind of the technical skill that I had to develop, and then like actually acquire some gear helped. But the reason I never like started a YouTube channel specifically was because I just never felt comfortable. I always knew that if I started one, I would want me talking in it, and I just don't think I really ever had the I guess the confidence or just the ability to just put myself in front of camera and talk. And I don't know where it came from, but I finally found it, and I don't know. I'm a little bit awkward in that video, but it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse.
So, I'm getting there, and I knew I just had to start somewhere, and that was my start somewhere. So
no, definitely. I think that's great, especially with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's just trying to do something with it.
Right, yeah. You don't necessarily know where it's going to end up. Like, I would love to do YouTube videos about cameras, too, but Jeeps is where I started because I thought it was, the easiest place for me to start.
Hits home the most for you.
Right.
1 sec. Yeah, that's definitely, to me at least, I don't think you're awkward in it.
Well, thanks.
And you were really you didn't show everything with what happened in this situation. I won't talk about everything with that.
Yeah,
I don't want to give spoils away with the video.
Well, basically my dad got stuck, and
yeah,
I ended up getting almost stuck myself and frustrated, and I ended up shutting the camera off, which I wish I hadn't have done.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I don't know, at that point I thought there's a possibility we could be like stranded.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't want to, give anything away. Give me like 1 second because I gotta like shoot this.
Yeah, no worries. You're fine.
That's gonna sound really funny to listen to.
People are like, "What the hell? What the hell's going on?" No, but it was interesting. Well, I mean, that would have been interesting as an episode being stranded for 24 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, ironically, if we had been stranded,
that would have been a pretty good episode.
It would, and also we actually had everything we needed to be stranded. It just would have been a little awkward because we would have been camping in the mud because we actually have rooftop tents on the Jeeps.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it would have been no problem. We would have just flipped them up and camped on the mud. I mean, it would have been a little bit of a pain, but...
That would have made for a hell of a video.
It would have.
Good clickbait.
Yeah, but no, we escaped mostly. My dad got some body damage, but you can go watch that yourself.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's awesome that you showed yourself being frustrated.
Yeah, it's hard, and there's some clips cut out of that because
yeah,
me and my dad are just we're intense people, and some people might take that weird, so I just cut the clips out. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
But
I totally get that.
So I know we mostly look calm throughout it, and that wasn't always the case. So just so everyone knows, it wasn't always how it went, but it's mostly representative of how that went. So yeah.
No, I think it's good that you kept it real, but you were comfortable not showing everything.
Yeah. I mean, you can't always show like everything. It's just some of it's just personal.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's not reality TV you're trying to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just had the GoPro strapped to my head, so I didn't have any control over what I was recording and what I wasn't. So.
Yeah. But that's a nice thing too, because it's real.
Right.
It's real stuff.
I got
not acting. I mean.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I got everything. I was able to just forget I was recording and get everything. So.
And it's not to say like other shows like Mountain Men or like Ice Road Truckers. Like obviously that stuff's real, but it just feels like it's like, oh shit, like the truck's stuck again. Oh my god, and it's like an intense scene, and it's like music has to be playing, and all this stuff has to happen, and it's like like it's just repetitive. It's so like
I know. I purposely didn't put any music over getting stuck.
That's what I noticed too. That's what I thought of right away. I was like, okay, I'm glad that's not the case, because it's just nice to have it not be that way, because that's what everyone does. Right.
And I took I didn't like steal my channel or anything, but my inspiration channel partially. I would say my inspiration channel is a combination between Peter McKinnon and Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yes,
Peter McKinnon.
Right. So Peter's in there, but there's also a lot of this guy named Matt. He has Matt's Off-Road Recovery, and he owns Winder Towing in Hurricane, Utah. And his channel, he's got, I don't know, a lot of subscribers. Maybe you can pull it up real quick. Just Matt's Off-Road Recovery. But he's got a good amount of subscribers, and he does the towing in addition to the YouTube. And yeah, there he is with the yellow Jeep right there. And he's always just very calm in his videos, and he all his videos are recovering people for his towing business, but he's not
Yeah, it's a
he's
good
not
amount.
making he's not making a big deal about it. He's just very calm and even tempered, and he never is like, oh, you're stupid for getting in this situation. He's always very professional, and he's always like, we're gonna get you out, and he gets him out, and he doesn't charge him too much. But I was like getting stuck. I was channeling my inner Matt here, and
Yeah.
in addition to just my film work being inspired by Peter. But
Yeah,
I
see
would say that if I was going to say what two channels I took inspiration from, it would be those two, and I would like to have a combination of the two.
Yeah, and Peter McKinnon he created his own, like, what was it? Filter lens, right?
Yeah, he
What is
has
his
a
name to
filter
it?
from Polar Pro. It's a variable ND,
Yeah,
and then he's got
that's
a couple
awesome.
coffee things from
Yeah, that's
the Owl brand, whatever that is.
I feel like everyone
James
has like
Coffee
their
Co.
own.
in
I feel like
Toronto.
it's funny because I feel like everyone has their own coffee thing going,
Yeah,
but it's awesome.
it is. And then what else? He has like his own leather goods thing, and then a couple Benchmade knives, I want to say.
Oh, that's
And then he
awesome.
does have a picture on Canadian currency, which is really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, they did a special edition coin with a picture of Lake Moraine, I believe he took on there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a big deal.
Yeah, he
but he's got
I
like
could be
5
wrong.
million subscribers now, which is insane.
Because I know we talked about this before. Peter McKinnon's like the fastest growing YouTuber.
Yeah, I think he was the quickest to 1 million.
Oh yeah,
I want to say. I wouldn't say he's any longer the fastest growing,
but I'll look it up at least. Who was? Is getting married. Yeah, I mean, I heard about it.
Yeah, I want
And
to say
I
it's the fastest growing to 1 million. I think he did it in under a year, which is pretty incredible.
YouTube channels. Let's see what that does at least. He makes 10 million of views a month, so that's roughly 30,000, wow, to $50,000 per month.
Yeah,
Wow.
he makes a killing from it. If you get as big as him, you can make a lot from YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I can't find it necessarily, but no.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about it though. It's I believe it's a year. In under a year, he hit 1 million, which I think was the fastest.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna see if. Yeah, it's weird. It's not finding anything. Yeah, I mean, God, over 1.1 million in this. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, doesn't say so, but I mean, it definitely says he was growing pretty rapidly as a YouTuber. So yeah, about the book.
Yeah, this
little
book. This
fast, a little fast paced, but it was a book. Obviously, Frank Cost, Dane Hughes, another professor who did 4D last semester.
Okay, who is that?
Shorter guy, brown hair.
Kez?
Yeah, I think Kez.
Yeah, he's still doing it this semester.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
And
Zella did the back cover.
yeah, bunch of it was. I remember that. Yeah, we had to come to a vote what the front cover and the back cover was.
Wow.
I was up for voting for it too. I forget what the picture was, but I think it was something like photo science related, and I was up for like either being the title of it or the back cover.
Cool.
Didn't get to be chosen. It was fine though, because people really just don't like photo science as much.
Yeah, I think there's a disconnect between the programs to some degree. I mean, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I mean.
No, I feels this. That feels
Yeah.
that way. And it just feels like it goes into totally different jobs than you'd expect.
I mean, even PJ and ad, there's a little bit of a disconnect. I mean, not as much, but.
Yeah, not as much. But yeah, all those people I mentioned, Frank, all those people are pretty popular photographer professors.
Yeah, well,
here
I
at
mean,
RIT.
Frank's thing is to some degree
And-
like books.
Yeah,
So this
he's the book guy for sure. So when he was making this book, he was talking about everything you would need to know about publishing a book, it being on Amazon, even if you wanted to,
Wow.
everything. Like he was talking about it there. And at that time, I didn't really know him too well. I just thought he was kind of I don't know, like he was just the guy in the back who just did things for RET as like assisting, you know.
Well, as it turns out, he's like the head of visual media.
He's
so.
the head of visual media. So that
Yeah.
was really, I mean, he's a really awesome. His Instagram, you should definitely check out his Instagram is pretty awesome too.
Yeah, it's funny. I love his Instagram.
It's so funny.
Interestingly enough, Frank is who I went to RIT Day of Photo when it was still a thing. I think 2 years ago. Probably the same. No, but it would have been before this. In 2018, I think. And me and Michaela both went there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, we've been together for that long.
Quite
some
time.
Yeah, but he was the one who did my portfolio review. So he was actually probably like the first person at RIT to be exposed to my work. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's really cool.
I sat down with him. He was the first
That's awesome.
real professor I talked to at RIT. And I don't know, Frank is a good guy, and I haven't talked to him since, but I definitely will soon. So I got to talk to him about visual media. I was saying I was undecided. That's because I want to take ad photo classes, but I also want to take video and business classes. And that, honestly, the easiest way to do that is with visual media. There's kind of there's not like an official track for it, but I've heard of some people replacing visual media's graphic design classes with video classes, so that's likely what I'm going to do.
That's what I hope too with the business aspects of things, and I think you told me about someone did that.
Yeah, well,
Frank, talking to Frank about.
yeah, you have to talk to Frank. I have to talk to Frank myself and make sure it's possible still.
Yeah, no,
So.
for sure. I'm gonna because it's like it's really sad how the photography doesn't. The photography major doesn't really offer any video classes other than 4D at this point.
Yes.
That can be kind of upsetting.
Yeah, it is. I think they should offer more.
They should absolutely, yeah.
There's a new class. I don't know if you know about this. You might.
No,
That's
I don't know
called.
about
I think it's just called Video for Photographers.
it. Interesting.
And it's newer, but that's that's going to be a new thing. So.
Great, because yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be great immersion.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I wish you could do a video immersion. That would kind of change the game.
Yeah, that really would, because right now there's film of studies, but that is like
That's not even
dead.
close.
It's
you know?
not even
Yeah.
close. It's just watching films and
Right.
observing it. That's like, it would be okay if it was a semester class, but it's really a major, a minor you could take,
Yeah.
and that's not really ideal.
Right.
So yeah, in the book itself, I want to just go to my part.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take a look.
I know that's kind of whack, but
That's fine.
yeah, I mean, you can look for yourself.
Okay.
I don't know what he said about. Oh no, I think I chose to say. I think they were asking us to have.
So did you write this about yourself then?
I think so.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I'll have to look at it again, just that you can look at it first at least.
Yeah, I'm reading it here.
But yeah, it was a really it was a fun time. Like it was a lot of positivity with what photography was going to be like, and if anyone was going to be there, I really wish it was Clay Patrick, because God, that would have been such a great guy to meet
At this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have yet to meet him, but he's interesting.
He's
a
talked
cool
to me
guy.
like once or twice. He has he doesn't know me at all. We were
Huh,
strangers
cool.
talking, and I'm like, bro, I didn't know what to say. Like it's phenomenal.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and that's when I was just starting with some photography in that, and
Yeah, that's cool though. I like it. It's a cool, little section that you have there.
yeah, for
So.
sure. It was a cool thing to have started, and definitely. I got other books, but
Okay, yeah.
one that I definitely You can look at it a bit too. I don't really care.
Right, yeah, I've seen this one before.
This one,
sure.
yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
took
think
it so fast. I only let you have it for like a day.
That's fine. I looked at it for sure.
But it's a photo art book, and it's by Joel Sartor, right? Sartor?
I think it's Sartor.
Yeah, Sartor.
It's they photographed all the animals.
Yeah,
Basically, National Geographic.
Yeah, the book itself is basically, it's just about taking pictures of every animal in the world, especially addressing the ones, they have little like paragraphs or little responses of why certain animals are going extinct, like certain frogs.
I think a lot of these are endangered.
Yeah, but at this time now, it's gotten a lot better because with COVID, it's the one thing that's come out of it at least is that some endangered species have gotten
yeah, that's interesting. I heard population. About that. Yeah.
Tigers, I think, being one of them.
Interesting.
And I recommend there's a 60 Minutes episode with him in it.
Oh wow.
And Yellowstone Park, which is where a lot of the wolf population is now.
Right.
And increasing that population.
That's interesting what they did there. I've been to Yellowstone.
Really? What was that like?
It's cool. Yellowstone and pretty much most national parks are always quite touristy, which always tends to bother me. But Yellowstone is beautiful, and there's, even with all the tourists, there's still more wildlife there than I've ever seen. Yellowstone's really cool.
That's glad to hear.
Yeah, it's a good place to go, especially to photograph wildlife, and there's good landscapes there. And then its neighboring park, the Grand Tetons, is also very cool.
That's awesome.
And then, as far as what they did with the wolves, it was interesting. I think they did go extinct there, and then they reintroduced them or something when it was ready, and it worked, I believe. There's an interesting thing about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
I think that's maybe true, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you don't put it in the podcast if it's not true, but I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, I think you're right, but
yeah, sometime in the 70s possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Or like they almost went extinct and then they added more or something, but.
Yeah, they were removed. You're right.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
You're right, because at that point, what happened was they messed up what the cycle was there.
Yes. Yeah.
And there was like problems with the grass or like something.
Well,
like
they're there again. So
yeah, they're there again, and they're helping out the system with killing off prey,
right,
and preventing the natural system that's supposed to be happening there.
Right.
And that's sort of a thing with not every ecosystem or every place, but I think at least with the photo art book, at least it's hard to tell where exactly the result of it, the impact would be if certain animals were
interrupting the food chain is never a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's obviously it's obviously important for the experts to be cautious,
right?
With how, I mean, in this case, it worked. So,
yeah.
But I think it's more of a situation where it's kind of solving a problem in a situation and kind of having to have that situation resolved by, in this case, having wolves introduced again into Yellowstone itself. And also with it was like a lot of tourists, like you said,
right?
Just visiting and taking pictures of the wildlife itself. And I think people are making like huge profits off of it, who've gone on these trails with photographers, the tourists itself. And it's sad because I went on an Alaskan cruise, like I want to say it was like 3 summers ago at this point. And the wildlife there was like barely anything. Like you see an otter at one point, you see an eagle, that's it. Like it's sad. I know it's just the forest you're looking at and just the waters, but it's like nothing. Yeah.
There are some parts of Alaska though, Lake Clark, Alaska, but you have to you can't really go back there without having a guide that carries
That's
like a
true.
shotgun
No,
because there's a lot of bears back there.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I'm not kidding. You actually like it's not recommended you go back there without like
Really?
weapons. So
Wow.
there's quite a few grizzlies in that area, but that is somewhere that I would like to go. I believe you have to get helicoptered in. You can't drive in. So
But fun fact about it, Alaska is the deadliest state.
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Deadly state because
Yeah.
of how the law system is pretty much broken there.
Right. You know, there's actually a corner of Yellowstone where you can legally murder somebody.
Really?
Yeah, it's in between a couple of jurisdictions, which makes it impossible for anyone in that corner to have a jury of their peers because there's no
Really?
residents in that area. So if someone were to make an arrest, or yeah, well, like if you were to kill someone there and get arrested there, you would not be able to have a trial with a jury of your peers, which is
That's interesting.
yeah, and you couldn't.
Crazy.
Apparently, there's a judge who said that in court that likely would not be upheld and you would go to jail. So don't try it. But there's like a technical loophole. I don't think, according to this one judge, it wouldn't actually work. But we don't know because no one's ever done it. So
Yeah.
it's called like I forget what it's called. It's but you can look up just like part of Yellowstone. You can murder someone in and it comes up. It's called something weird.
Part where you can murder.
The zone of death. Yeah, the zone of death in Yellowstone.
Oh my
that's what it
god.
is.
That is nuts.
Yep. It's how big is it? 50 square
Yep.
miles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I
didn't go there when I was in Yellowstone.
It's a loophole in the Constitution of the United States.
Yep.
Why would they make that?
Well, it was an accident, I believe. It's basically because.
Can you hand me my backpack?
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure.
Thanks. There's like stuff in there.
Where is it?
Right there.
No.
Thanks. Thanks.
So why would they make that? Basically, it's kind of a mistake, I would say. That it's just because of the jurisdictions and like the county zones. So because I believe like part of whatever state, what state is to the left of Wyoming?
What state is like the Wyoming?
Is it Utah? It might be Utah. Anyway, whatever state is to the left of Wyoming has a sliver of Yellowstone National Park in it, and because of that, one of their counties goes in or something.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. So Idaho, yep.
Okay, Idaho.
So because Yellowstone overlaps into Idaho,
just a slither.
yeah, it's just this little sliver, and because there's no. Yeah, so the technical reason is because there's no people who live in that sliver because it's in a different state. There's no way to have a jury of your peers because legally a jury of your peers is like people who live in your jurisdiction.
So it's a landscape error. Like
yeah, it's basically like a glitch.
And they just don't know what the hell to do with it.
Right, so basically probably what would happen is they would assemble a jury of peers by using people from Idaho near and people from Yellowstone near. So in reality, it's probably not what people call it, but in technicality, if you had a good enough lawyer, you might be able to get away with murder. So don't try that. I'm not condoning murder, but it's just interesting. Yeah.
No, that's fascinating. I think that
yeah.
the smaller things like that are always interesting. There's other places in the world, in the United States, I forget where specifically. It was a place that Mr. Beast went to.
Interesting.
Let me see again what it's called. Where did Mr.
Sure, there's plenty of countries you can get away with murder in, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that's yeah. What? Hang on. Oh, it's Slab City. That's so weird. Okay, Slab City. Slab City.
Cool.
What a name.
Interesting.
I just want to see. Yeah, it's lawless. They had some interesting things there. Yeah, it's pretty like wild.
Interesting.
But they had like, I don't know, it's like they have good times there. It's nothing that's like really that crazy go on. They have like events.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they probably do a lot of those kind of conventions of like not steampunk, Mad Max
Oh yeah.
kind of stuff go on there.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, again, like cool shit.
Yeah.
I would love to just do a photo series. I mean, I'm sure it's already done enough, but
Right.
it would be interesting to do something related to that specifically, but because it's just cool stuff for sure. Yeah, Dan's a photo major as well. He just was confused as what was going on. Oh, even this. Yeah, I love it.
Oh my. Yeah.
And
Crazy town.
Yeah, crazy town for sure. That's one. That's another I remember hearing about. But yeah, I didn't know about the Yellowstone one either.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And the other books I have, obviously, Humans of New York, a pretty famous one actually, by Brandon Stanton, and a sequel to it, Humans, where he went across the world, doing portraits of people, New York, Paris, Hong Kong, Juba, like so many places. It's crazy. If you want to look at any of them, by all means.
Yeah, sure.
If not, and another Barnes and Noble exclusive.
Nice. I love Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, my mom works there actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not telling what store because I would prefer people not to know that. Ideally, and the photo arc as well is a Barnes and Noble exclusive edition. So yeah, it's just really cool stuff.
Does your mom work at RT too?
No.
Oh, okay.
She worked at a lot of places, but not everything.
No, that's my friend Jared his mom works here.
Oh,
That's what it is.
interesting.
I forget, I apologize.
No worries. You're fine. But yeah.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's
Definitely more like, PJ's side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
And that one, it feels more. It hits home more. I looked at that a lot more recently.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it's just kind of like, I don't know. The picture really tells something interesting.
Right.
And the people in it. Sorry, my audio is gonna be a little whack for a sec because I'm just moving it. Try to have it sound better. Or just try to help move it closer. Okay. But yeah, I mean.
This is a great one. That's my boss. Gotta go. And then it's this guy. That's awesome.
Yeah. Again, it's really interesting stuff that they talk about. And,
I can hear his voice. I'm gonna take a picture of this page. I don't know. That's interesting. I see what you mean though.
There's just so he perfectly matches up the picture with the text.
Yeah, I almost imagine this guy sounding like Stanley from The Office.
Yeah. There's just so many great ones. And there's just one of this teen couple. And the photographer asks them if they're a couple or not. And the guy says no. But the girl's like, I don't know, are we? And it's just
That's funny.
It's just them being cute. So now, this part of the podcast where I'm going to ask, I don't know, there's different songs. And I'm just going to ask you, what do you think is best?
I use Epidemic. I have in the past.
And I'm just going to see, when do you think would be best for the podcast? A little
I like
too...
that one, actually.
I don't know if I found that one as much, but not this one.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's class. I think that's a classical one.
Yeah.
No. Maybe not that one. I'll listen to this one fully again.
Are you gonna put this under our talking or
What?
where is this going?
At the start.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna play very much of it then?
No, not very much of it. So maybe there's a part of it. Also, it's pretty
kinda
low.
like that
Is that okay that it's low like that?
I mean, I think so.
All right, cool.
You'll have to see how it comes out. I mean,
No, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That'd be my vote. You can choose a different one.
No.
It's up to you.
No. No, I'm gonna decipher it a bit more and maybe choose something in that. Because again, the other ones are just like not for me. And the only problem with it is that I would have to be I would have to use like the link and stuff for it, so I don't get copyright strike for it. So I basically be gaining no profit from the podcast if I used it, which would be fine at this point, because if it got any bigger, I would probably switch it and try something different. Yeah. So I wanted to talk. There's stuff you've been doing recently with bird photography.
Yeah.
Specifically, and I mean, it seemed like you did a lot of it during the winter break.
Yeah. It's one of the things I like to do. Kind of just in my backyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's actually where I shoot a lot of those birds, most of them.
What's made you like that?
I don't know. That's an interesting question to ask. It's a good question to ask, but it's interesting because I don't know how to answer it. I don't really have an answer for it. I like nature. I like wildlife, and there's something about, when I first got my first like DSLR, it was a Nikon D7200. I had a 18 to 250, just kind of all in one zoom, and I was just always had fun taking pictures of the birds with that. I mean, they were terrible pictures because 250 millimeters is not enough for bird pictures. So, and I eventually just went to 150 to 600 millimeter, and I just enjoy it. It's the one thing I photograph that I guess I shouldn't say this because there's actually a lot of wildlife photographers who do it as a career, but it's not something I would want to turn into a career because it's something that I can always go back to, that I enjoy photographing even when I'm burned out of making stuff. And it's interesting because a lot of photographers talk about, especially in college, and I guess for that matter, just people who do it as a career, talk about, getting tired of photography after their career. And it's a big problem because you can get tired of creating stuff really easily, especially when it's something you're passionate about, and then you're doing it for work all of a sudden, and you have to make money with it, and then you have to shoot for what other people want to see. And for me, wildlife photography is the one thing where that doesn't apply. And yeah, sure, sometimes that doesn't apply to, like, if I'm taking a picture of my Jeep or if I'm taking a landscape shot. But wildlife photography is the one thing I've always done for myself just because I enjoy it. And it's just something I really enjoy.
Do you consider it to just be like a relaxing hobby?
Yeah, I do. It's very relaxing. I can, kind of connect with nature.
I can see that, yeah.
And just kind of get those intimate shots of the birds. And it's just something I enjoy doing. And I just leave my camera set up on my kitchen table.
It's a telephoto.
And I grab it and I walk out.
It's a telephoto, I'm guessing, right? Okay, I figured. Yeah, they were really good quality. I know telephoto lenses are supposed to be when
right. It's a 600 millimeter that I use. So that's
so that being more for sports photography.
Yeah, wildlife.
Wildlife, just so people know.
600
probably
is quite a bit.
Would you consider it paparazzi kind of work as well, or no?
Yeah, I mean, sure. A lot of paparazzi photographers are actually more likely to use a 70 to 200 because it's a little smaller. So
yeah. So that kind of work. And yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see that because, I think it's really cool that you're deciding to go different routes with it.
It's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. And I mean, I guess if I could make, a substantial income doing wildlife photography, I would, but I think it might be easier to get a substantial income from just photography in general. So.
Would you ever consider doing, not necessarily photo arc, but a book on bird specifically?
Yeah,
and that being
I
National
actually have.
Geographic.
Yeah, I thought about one time kind of just making it like a guidebook and photographing every bird species that's in Michigan. I mean, there's plenty of those, so it just would be like, it wouldn't be that unique. But
I don't know. I feel like, when was the last book published?
They update them pretty frequently.
Oh, really?
So it's a pretty saturated market. So like maybe I could do it for fun, but more interestingly, I wanted to challenge myself to take one of those books that's already out there and photograph every bird in that book, but like make the pictures better, than that were already there, or at least get every bird. Some of them are really rare. Like in Michigan, we have a bird called the scarlet tanager, which is a beautiful. It's about the size of a goldfinch, but its body is bright red, and the wings are dark black. I've seen one once, and I got kind of a crappy picture of it, but they're really cool birds. Yeah, especially like that. So I saw one time, and they're really rare, but they're very beautiful.
They're very. It's like a red.
Yeah.
The wings are black, and it's like the whole body.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. To be honest, this looks cooler than a robin in some ways.
Yeah, or a cardinal is the most similar.
Because
the red.
Because I don't know, having the wings black like that is.
I know it's very interesting,
cool.
isn't it?
It's interesting.
And they're small. They're very cool birds.
Is the population? Look at the population.
Yeah, try Michigan population. As far as I'm concerned, they're pretty rare. But I saw one time in Traverse City.
Seeing if there's any. Oh, they're fairly common in oak forest in the summer, but.
But they often remain out of sight as they forage. Yeah, in the leafy upper branch. So they stay
they're
high.
Not at least endangered.
That explains it. So they're not rare. They're just hard to photograph because they're up in the trees. So
okay, interesting.
That's
good to know at least.
Yeah. Well, that eases my concern a little bit because it's always been a goal to photograph one of those, like get a good shot of it. I actually have a picture of one. It's just not a very good photo. So.
Did you ever post it, or
No, it's terrible. You can just I would have to tell you it's a scarlet tanager. I think it's like blurry, and I don't know. It's not a good. It's not.
No, I get it.
But
I mean,
it's there.
You have one?
And I also have a photo of an owl. That's
awesome.
But it's a terrible photo. It looks like I took it on my iPhone. It's bad. But I have both those photos, and it's always been my goal to like make a better photo of what I already took.
Will you ever decide to have your lens cap off for those kind of specific situations once you're out? Then because
what do you mean?
So Gregory, he's a professor.
Yeah.
He told us in like a lecture class that he prefers to have his lens cap off.
Oh yeah,
I
don't really bring my lens caps with me when I shoot.
Oh really? I always find that the wackiest thing.
Yeah.
But
I actually leave most of my lenses uncovered, which is dangerous because I have a few lenses that are like decently expensive, and I don't put a lot of lens caps. In fact, I lose them all the time.
That confuses me so much.
Yeah, I just bought a new one for my 600 millimeter, and I might have lost it already.
Oh my god.
I don't, and those are huge. Like it's a 95 millimeter. It's like the size of a small pancake. So
small pancake.
I do not leave the lens cap on. It's way too hard to take off.
Well, I hope you find it at least.
I like when I'm shooting wildlife. I don't have the lens cap on. I already have the lens extended to 600 millimeters, and most of the time I leave the camera on. So
that's good.
Yeah. So that's how I shoot. So yes, I do leave my lens cap off. I mean, on my smaller lenses, especially the ones where like the front element sticks out a little bit, I keep it on always. But
that's good.
Because my 15 millimeter.
What kind of lens was that? Like the one you were just talking about?
Where it sticks out more?
Yeah.
So that's what I was just gonna say. My 15 millimeter Irix lens is a wide angle, and it kind of has like that fisheye where it sticks out. Mm-hmm. And so I always keep the lens cap on that one because that one is very fragile, so and easy to scratch. So it's a wide angle lens. It kind of looks like a GoPro, but with less distortion. So
interesting. And Dan, the guy that just kind of interrupted the podcast, but it's fine. Funny guy. He does the same thing all the time. It's like his iconic thing now. It's like you just see him with his camera with him.
Yeah, he always has his camera.
Lens off.
I respect that about him a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Even though I'm like, again, still confused about it, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just important.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not leaving your sensor exposed, it's not a huge deal. You can wipe off the front of your lens.
Yeah.
I've actually, in Yellowstone, my 24-70 millimeter.
Specifically.
What?
No, continue.
Yeah, in Yellowstone.
I was just explaining.
Yeah, we were pulled off on the side of the road to take a photo of a bighorn sheep.
Bighorn sheep?
I believe, yes.
Bighorn sheep?
Bighorn sheep, yes. I want to say that's what it's called.
Hang on. I feel so stupid looking it up. Oh, okay.
Yep, bighorn sheep. So we were pulled over taking a picture of a bighorn sheep, and it's babies.
Are they ever like, aren't they like aren't they known to be aggressive?
Oh, wait a minute. It might not be a bighorn sheep. Look up just like animals in Yellowstone, and I'll tell you what it was.
Okay.
It might be some kind of goat. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Not a pronghorn.
Bighorn sheep released there. Gosh, a lot of them. Yeah, cougar.
It wasn't a mountain goat.
It would be funny if we were like, oh, cougar.
Cougar. I want to see a cougar. It was not.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what one it is, but God, there's so many animals. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's there.
It's let me just find the name.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyway, okay, here, I'll just say it this way. We were stopped on the side of the road to take a picture of, I think it was a bighorn sheep.
Okay, yeah.
It might have been like a female bighorn sheep or something.
No, that's fine.
It doesn't look like the ones we were just looking at, but
Yeah.
the picture's on my Instagram if you scroll all the way down, and someone can identify it for me. But I think I figured it out at one point. But anyway, we were in such a rush, and my 24 to 70 millimeter, which is just a standard lens, I ended up flying out of the car onto the concrete.
Oh my God.
No lens cap, I don't think. And it was fine. Nothing ever happened to it. It was just fine. And that's a hefty lens too, so it had quite a weight hitting the ground there. And it was fine. So like after that I was like, okay, I'm only gonna have my lens cap on if I'm like putting it in my bag again. I'm not gonna leave it off or leave it on while I'm walking around. So
that's the moment you felt like, okay, why do I have this thing on?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, if it can fly out of a car, it can be okay walking around in my hand.
I probably have that moment too,
Yeah.
honestly. So that's okay. I totally get it.
Right, and then a couple of my lenses, like especially the 600, if the front glass piece breaks or gets scratched or anything, there's literally a couple screws and you can just take it off and put a new one on. So it's like...
Yeah, there's definitely ways around it I've seen or I've heard about.
Right.
Especially if you have a UV filter or something that's...
Yeah, I had tried having like clear filters at one point, and I just thought they didn't do... They screwed up the image quality.
Really?
So, yeah, I took them off. I actually broke one and then took it off.
I have one myself still, but
yeah.
I'll consider that.
Yeah, that might just be because I was being like very nitpicky, but and it depends on the kind you have too. Because if you have a good one, it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah, I think I've had one that's been reliable to me, but I see what you mean. For specifically, I do see what you mean.
Yeah.
I forget. So back to picture day. No, what was it? The day you went to RIT the first time, Frank Goss.
Yeah, RIT Day of Photo.
RIT Day of Photo. I went on Portfolio Day or something like that. And what's up?
I was just seeing how much. We're at 53 minutes.
Yeah. Do you have to go soon? Or
No.
anything like that? All right, cool.
I didn't know how long you wanted it to be.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't know. 45. Hard to say, but
Okay.
it was Portfolio Day, and obviously RIT was there, and they didn't really have like a person looking over photo stuff. I mean, there was definitely a guy there that like looked at it and seeing if it was something I should submit or not.
Yeah.
And it was Ted.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, man, I'm in line, and I had a pretty bad day there, because I brought a hard drive, but I didn't bring my laptop, and they wanted you to bring both.
I just showed him on my phone. I literally showed Frank my Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was like, oh fuck, like this is a bad day. And my dad had to go all the way back to get the laptop. He brought a laptop.
Oh yeah.
It was my mom's laptop, but I had the hard drive at least, so I could get on. And I showed him my stuff, and he was fine. Like, he was being probably the best he was giving solid advice and stuff with things, and he was like...
Well, he's photo sciences too. That probably wasn't exactly what you were
Probably, but he was just trying to pretend like he knew what he was doing, at least.
Yeah.
Not to throw shade at him, because he is still my professor.
Yeah.
But it was it was just kind of like a professor tactic anyway, just be like, I don't know, not ruthless, but definitely stern with things.
Interesting.
And,
Yeah.
someone in front of me had a lot of good stuff, though, like a lot of work laid out to him. And obviously, she was in the book too. She was, I don't know why I forget her name, but and she's local. She went to Mercy. I won't mention her name because I don't know how. There's the front. There's the front. It was her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she had pretty good work actually.
Cool.
Let me just find her. And yeah, I thought she had great stuff. You can look at it yourself if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She had a lot of different work, and he was just the same way to
Cool.
me as he was to her.
Yeah. Interesting.
And yeah, and I felt like I had a really bad day that day from it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I basically had a good experience. It was quite the drive out here, you know, because we had to come from Michigan. So.
yeah, but after that I was like, whatever. I'll probably be fine, and I'll maybe get in since I'm local and my
Yeah.
dad.
Well, it's cool that you got in. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful, and
Yeah.
it's been a great journey from here. And so now even a little off topic now, but the job I was telling you about, hoping to get in the summer, it's just a great experience because at this point I looked at Jen Poggi. If you ever need to talk to anyone about ideas for a co-op or anything like that, she's the best person to talk to. But
Right.
I could either that or just send you a link to a bunch of stuff she's already sent me regarding things to like look at for experience.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot, but it was definitely stuff that like really helps.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know.
I definitely talked to her. And yeah.
But besides that, the job being the summer job.
Right. That's cool. Yeah. The camp. Right.
Yeah, the camp is really interesting, and I'm having a meeting for that Tuesday.
Cool.
And it's weird. It's weird how like humongous. I'll show you. It's weird how humongous the camp is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because again, they have like a ton of different stuff.
Also, I'm like hungry, so I haven't eaten dinner yet.
That's okay. I'll have my assistant get you. No, okay. I wish I had an assistant.
Yeah. So I don't know like how.
No, we'll cut it. We'll cut it in like
ten.
10 minutes or something.
Okay.
If that's cool with you.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. Again, like large ass camp.
Yeah. Wow. That's big. That's cool.
I don't know. Like I know it's
Yeah. That's cool. That's gonna be a fun job for you. Cool.
I really like more than anything I would do to do this because one, again, it's like they pay salary for it, and I wouldn't be watching over any kids or anything like that. Even though I actually
Right.
I do have experience in that area. I do have a lot of experience in that area, but I don't really want to do that. And I'm going to be working pretty much full time there with
Gotcha.
2 other friends that I've already known really well. And they're like, you need to sign up for this. This is a golden opportunity right now. It's I don't know if it would count as a co-op necessarily.
Right. But it's cool though.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if it was anything, I would definitely want to do this.
Cool. Yeah.
And yeah, so a big question, I don't know if you've already been asked this, but what made you really want to do photography? Just flat out.
Well, my grandpa was a professional photographer on my mom's side, and he passed away a couple of years ago now, but up until then, you know, he kind of taught me a lot, and I was inspired by him, and I've been, you know, kind of photographing since I was pretty young. I had my first camera when I was like 5, and I just enjoyed kind of screwing around with it. And then I went to Australia with a Nikon point-and-shoot camera.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun trip, and I took some photos. I was like, oh, I want to get into this more, and then I got a DSLR, I went to Seattle. I took some cool photos, and then I was like, okay, maybe I like really, really want to do this. And this is at a time where I basically thought I was going to be a business major. And,
Really?
Yeah. And
I could not picture that.
yeah, I almost ended up being a business major actually. And up until, it just sometime during junior year, I decided that I just wanted to be like full on photography and then get a business minor. And it's really just something I enjoy doing, and I see myself being able to profit off of. And that I think was the nice mix for me, is that I think I can profit off of it and I also enjoy it. And I don't know, so far I love being at school for photography. It's just something I really enjoy, and it's great.
You felt like it's been the right decision for you.
It has been the right decision,
That's good.
definitely.
That's good. That's really good.
I think
Because, I mean, I don't know. I just see, like, I think you could have definitely gone the route of not, I mean, I know other people don't. For me, at least, I see you going the route. I mean, either way, you could have went with not going the college route of things.
yeah,
To me, at least, I've
I
seen
considered that. I actually, it took me a while to decide that I wanted to go to college, and then this was like pretty much the only place I wanted to go, because I wanted to be able to.
It's close to number one place to go, for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to have a photography education and a business education, and that can happen here.
So yeah, that definitely works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's not wrong to go to the college route, but I've thought of it too. I think a lot even people think about it at least.
Yeah, and it's totally valid both in today's world in general and just our field in general. Photography, there's a lot of successful photographers either didn't go to college or didn't go to college for photography. So
yeah,
it's just a lot of things are possible.
absolutely.
And
yeah.
The reason I chose to go to college as a photographer is, first of all, because my parents are helping me out financially, so I'm not going to be in a ton of debt. And I think if I don't want to make college completely a business transaction about money, because it is more than that. But big thing for me was, like, if I was going to be in a lot of debt, if I was going to have to pay for RIT out of pocket myself and like work for it, and not that I won't work for it, I'm working to be here, and I'm here. But
that's
if you were to be in debt as a photographer, it's going to take you a lot longer to get out of debt than if you were to go to college to be a doctor or something. And I think at that point I would have just not went the college route. And as much as I hate to say that, it's kind of how our education system is set up, especially in the art field.
Yeah.
So thankfully, my parents are well off enough to help me out. And that was a big factor in it. And then the other reason is because there was like a couple days where I was like, for sure, I'm just not going to go to college. And in that time, I realized, like, damn, I am not ready to just go out into the world,
Yeah.
And that was it. I was like,
this
isn't going to put me into debt, and I'm not ready to just do this on my own anyway, and I need a transition period. So this is my transition period. And frankly, if I learned nothing about photography here, which hasn't been the case, I've learned a ton already, but this is my thought process going in. I was like, if I learn nothing about photography here, I know at least I'll make some connections with some good people here. And so far I have.
Already have, yeah.
Yeah, I already have. So, like you, and then like my fellow like peer photographers, and then like Dan Hughes.
Yeah, that's what I was.
As much as I hate to say it, don't go if you're going to be in a ton of debt, because it's just not a good idea as a photographer. It's going to be really hard to get out of that hole, and make some money from photography first, and then go back to school when you can afford it. That's what I would say. Number one is as much as it really sucks, in America, college is a lot about money, and you're going there to make money, but you're also going there to spend money. And so if you're going to be in debt, I don't recommend it. And that's just like from a very logical standpoint. Now, that doesn't go for everyone. If you really need to go to college because you need that transition period, like I myself did,
that's fine.
And you're just not ready. Yeah. You can. That does make sense to be in debt, because if you're not ready to go out into the world and you don't go to college, you're going to be in debt anyway. So you might as well go to college. So that's kind of the thought process there. But as a photographer, if you trust yourself that you're good enough not to go to college,
go for it.
Go for it. I have a friend right now back in Michigan, and he's like kind of going to college. I think he's doing some online thing for business, but he just like he's a year younger than us.
What's his name?
Seraphim. He probably doesn't care if I say his name.
Cool.
But he's amazing. He he visited me here. I don't think.
I think you talked about that. But yeah.
But he's great, and he just like his senior year of high school, he just like sent it, and he went down to Detroit. He joined Raw Detroit as his media group down there. He started doing fashion shoots.
Oh,
and now he does
awesome.
it, I think, on his own.
That's awesome.
And now he's looking at he's gonna be like a photographer for a talent agency, and he's gonna be able to travel to like all these cool places.
That's awesome.
And photograph like
and
the
he's only a
models
year.
and stuff.
It's only a year.
He's a year younger than us.
A year
he's still
younger.
in high school. So, like, and this guy, I mean, I think he's gonna go to college because he can, he wants to, but he doesn't need to go to college, frankly.
He doesn't need to.
And I think he wants to some degree. And
well, it's the place for you to really like learn.
Yeah, it is. But the point being, some people don't have to and shouldn't.
No,
but then there's other people that should, and I think where you have to make that decision is you have to trust your gut. You absolutely have to trust your gut. And some people will tell you the wrong thing even if they're close to you.
And even like someone out of my major, I won't say his name because I don't want to get in trouble for it, but he didn't spend much time as a senior student because he spent a lot of time at home, like doing online stuff instead.
Right.
And even with COVID, he didn't do the same thing either. But he knew for certain that he did not want to go to like a college. He already had a full-time job. He had a lot of things going for him. But people in his family told him, you should definitely go to college and do like what you, like it was a family thing for them to go to college and do this. And obviously that can be like annoying or can be like whatever.
Right.
I guess I'll do it like because my parents want me to. But when he did, it was like an awakening moment for him. Like
I think that happens to a lot of people.
He became, and that's happened for me. That's happened for you probably as well, and for a ton of other people. But for him, it was like such a awakening moment, and he does not regret it. Like he does not regret it at all.
I think I know what I said a couple minutes ago kind of might have ticked some people back to like not wanting to go to college, but frankly, you should at least try it. I mean, maybe
you could try it. Just try it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
People, even the guy, I don't know if you heard from Dan or Anton about it, but a guy who went here did a lot of amazing skater photography, was like killing it in the game.
Yeah.
But then he got like an opportunity from like Rolling Stones or something, and then he just left that and is now in California like doing his thing. So it's just people have their own journey.
Yeah, you have to trust your gut. That's like the moral of the story. You just kind of have to do what
there's
you
no
know
wrong or right answer with it. It's just going with what's best for you and your gut and what
Definitely. And sometimes college can get you to the same spot but maybe faster. And sometimes it can also get you to the same spot but slower. But maybe if it gets you there slower, it's first of all right for you, and also maybe it'll be more profitable and more rewarding in the end. And I mean, just like even the social aspect of being at college, and I can safely talk about this because this is not a party school, but the social aspect of just being friends with people who are like-minded is really cool.
It's nice. Yeah.
And I've never been around so many photographers, and I think it's pretty cool. So, I don't know. As a photography major, I think it's worth it, but you have to find the right school. So.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, for sure.
RIT is a good option.
Yeah, SCAD isn't. No, I'm kidding. No shade.
I mean, to be honest,
no shade with SCAD, but it's like
I won't throw shade at SCAD, but I've heard some not so great things about them.
It's a sus college because they give you money out of nowhere.
Yeah,
they give you so much money.
Yeah,
and like
they also apparently push you to be creative, like way more than is needed. So
yeah.
I wouldn't. We looked at that, me and Michaela, and we were like, no, we're not doing this.
It's whack. It's a really, not to really throw shade at them, but like.
Yeah, I won a congressional photography award, and they flew me down to DC.
Oh wow.
And it actually my piece hung between the U.S. Capitol and the office of the House of Representatives.
Serious?
Yeah, there's a tunnel underneath.
Wait,
DC
what?
That goes under.
You're joking.
No, I'm not. I never told you about this, but I won an award, and they flew me down there, and one of my pieces hung in between, because there's like the House of House of Representatives office building where they do like work, and then there's the Capitol, where they go on the floor, and there's an underground tunnel that goes from there to there, so they can go under it. It's kind of like RIT.
Yeah.
and they're with a lot of other peoples from
Yeah.
other congressional
No, I've
districts
seen-
and hung down there.
Yeah.
And SCAD gave me like a ton of money from that. Like they didn't give me cash; they gave me a scholarship from that. But it was a ton of money, and they basically said
So-
like in the letter like. We
Wait,
can't say you're accepted, but because you won this award, you're probably going to get accepted if you apply.
So wait, was it you? Sorry, you had a picture down in that area.
Yeah.
That you would just
A
explain.
print, yeah.
A print down in that area. Is that a very like rare accomplishment, or is that?
I don't
something-
know. I mean,
it definitely sounds like
cool,
it.
but
It definitely.
there were a good amount of people there.
I'm not saying that's. I mean, props to you. That sounds great. I'm just curious if that's like something that's.
Yeah,
rare.
I don't
That's
know
all.
how rare it is. I mean,
you have the image?
basically yeah. It's
I'm just curious. I'm really curious. That's
it's
fascinating.
called The Apple on the Beach.
That's really
It's
awesome.
an interesting photo I took a while ago. But
that's awesome, man.
yeah, it
like,
was
really.
cool. It was a cool experience. I don't know how like rare it is. There were a ton of things there, and I don't know
No,
how many other people
But
submitted.
I mean,
but
that's awesome.
yeah, I never submitted to the contest again.
There was something I remember. It felt really rewarding. It was like a Triple C award. They do it in New York State.
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not like my favorite picture I ever took, but
No, but
people
that's
liked
great.
it.
And that's awesome that you submitted to it and tried it. Like Google or that competition you
Yeah.
did yourself that you won. I mean, it's definitely important to submit to those kinds of things, especially at such a big level.
Definitely. You should always try. You should always
Yeah.
put yourself out there, and coming back,
Yeah.
you should always just go for it and try, go with your gut and
Yeah.
try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you can like,
Move on.
you could
doing the
yeah,
next thing.
just drop out, or
Yeah.
or if you decide not to go to college and then you decide you do want to go to college, you can do that too. You could just come in next year.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
just trust your gut and go for it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you can figure something else out, but just never give up.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the best because there's no. I looked on YouTube so many times if dropping out of college or not going to college
Right.
was the right decision, and it's
Yeah.
like
There's just
there
it's
isn't.
your
There isn't.
opinion, it's your
it's
path.
not. Yeah. It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think I even tried to find one on Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
But just didn't find it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah,
you know
he didn't go for photography.
what? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He did other things
Yeah.
first.
But anyway,
All
that
right.
was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been this episode of the podcast that I will find a name for. Sorry, I can't right now, but Jack of All Trades was the name, but that has been taken, and I don't want to get sued for it. So I will come up with something better. Zach Adams, once again, amazing photographer.
Thank you.
Award-winning photographer
Yeah,
that I
no,
just
for
found out
sure
about.
that, yeah.
But
I have a few Scholastic awards too, but I'm
Scholastic.
yeah, Scholastic.
Oh
writing
my
and
God.
everything.
That's awesome.
But Michaela has many more than I do, and so does Seraphim. But it's
That's awesome.
yeah. But anyway, go on, finish your.
No, but yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Adams, once again, check out his YouTube channel. Check out his Instagram. He's not hard to find.
Yeah, zachadams.jpg on Instagram, zachadams.jpg on Instagram, and then my website is on there.
Yeah.
zachadamsphotography.com.
Yeah, definitely check it all out. It's dope stuff. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
And
for
then
sure.
my YouTube is just Zach Adams. There's the one video, but that's also linked in my Instagram.
Yeah, he
so
actually
just go to
has.
my Instagram.
Yeah, he has a picture of it at least instead of other people just having like their initial.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to find either. But yeah, check him out. All right.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Jack.
Of course. Peace.